An elderly woman sits at her kitchen table, turning a single blank postcard over in her hands. For a busy person, mailing this is a 3-minute job. Write the note, address it, stamp it, and drop it in the box. Yet she will lose her entire day to this one card. She spends an hour hunting for her glasses, and another stretch rewriting her message because the first version felt clumsy. She wasn't being lazy, she simply had all day, so the task swelled to fill the time she gave it. This same mechanic often plays out at our own desks. We watch a simple assignment somehow take the full week, or a meeting booked for 60 minutes require every last second, even when the agenda is thin. This happens because we habitually treat time as a fuel. This diagram illustrates our internal logic. We assume that by filling the time gauge to the top, we will see a corresponding rise in the quality gauge. But giving a task more room rarely results in a better outcome. Beyond a certain point, that extra time just creates the space for friction and bloat to take root. This observation dates back to 1955, when a writer named Northcote Parkinson noticed something strange about British bureaucracies. Even as the empire they managed shrank, the number of officials kept growing. The work had gotten smaller, but the busy work kept expanding to keep everyone occupied. He distilled this into a single sentence: work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. You see it every time a one-page brief matures into a 12-slide deck simply because the deadline is a week away. The task grows because the time is there to be used. These time containers actively reshape our judgment. A generous window makes a simple job appear complex and demanding, changing what we believe the work actually requires. In the late 1960s, researchers Aronson and Landy moved this theory into the lab to see how our brains respond to different time limits for the exact same task. They gave participants a job that genuinely takes 5 minutes to do well. Some people were given exactly 5 minutes, others were given 15. This diagram shows the result. The 15-minute group didn't finish early. They stretched their effort to fill the entire window, spending more time than required. A generous window signals low priority, inviting perfectionism and overthinking, represented by these friction markers, where you polish unseen corners. This creates the documented excess time effect. When these participants were given a second task, they carried that slow, bloated pace forward, even after the original time pressure was removed. A single padded deadline recalibrates your internal sense of speed, creating a permanent, heavy drag on your overall momentum moving forward. Escaping this cycle requires the opposite of a generous approach. You have to shrink the room on purpose. This is called timeboxing. It starts by changing the question you ask before you begin. Instead of, "How much time do I have?" you ask, "How much time should this actually get?" A useful rule of thumb is to set a deadline 50 to 70% tighter than your initial estimate. This compression reactivates the urgency that a loose deadline switches off. However, a tight box by itself can easily lead to panic rather than focus. Effective time boxing actually requires a defined deliverable. For a 20-minute email block, commit to 4 bullet points, 1 clear request, and 1 link. The deadline provides the pressure, while the concrete target provides the direction. This combination transforms vague anxiety into sharp execution. This technique follows the Yerkes-Dodson curve. Pressure lifts your performance up to a peak, sharpening your focus and stripping away distractions. But push past that peak, and performance falls off a cliff. Too much pressure scrambles your thinking, leading to exhaustion and errors. Calibration requires matching the box to the work. Routine administrative tasks can withstand heavy compression, but creative work needs a firmer, more humane boundary to allow insights to arrive. The goal is finding the zone of productive pressure, tight enough to eliminate bloat, but loose enough to allow for deep thought. We also have to account for our own willpower. A study by researchers Ariely and Wertenbrock looked at how students managed deadlines for their semester papers. While students who set their own early deadlines performed better than those who didn't, the highest marks went to the group whose deadlines were firmly imposed by someone else. Apply this by borrowing accountability. Promise a draft by 2 o'clock, or schedule a review meeting before you've even started the work. Time alone doesn't make work good. Intent does. The woman with the postcard had nothing but time, and that is exactly why her day disappeared. Pick one task today that usually swallows your afternoon. Shrink the box, name a concrete finish line, and watch the work fold down to its true size. A well-chosen deadline focuses scattered effort into a single bright point. It turns time from a trap back into a tool.